sun is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time joining, I'd want to warmly welcome you. This channel is all about fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. So if any of these topics actually interest you, please feel free to join the family. If you're up with me, I definitely up with you, and therefore we are a crew. So today I'm going to be showing you a detailed look on how I actually created this look, and it's step-by-step beginner friendly. So if you don't know anything about makeup, stay tuned because you are bound to learn a thing or two. Get your pens and papers, your notepads, and please be taking note. And if you do recreate this look, please do DM me on my IG. The link will be linked in this video down below. Let's now jump into the video. Okay, so I'm quickly just gonna go into it. As per the title, if you want to learn how to put on foundation, stay tuned. So anywho, I'm starting off with a very clean face. I washed my face. Always make sure you wash your face and you start off with a clean face, because like great painting needs a very clean canvas. Consider your face or your skin has a canvas, yeah? So you really want to ensure that your canvas in this case scenario is your face is very clean and rinsed and washed. Then secondly, I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer. You can use any moisturizer of your choice. I'm using this aloe vera oil. I usually switch between moisturizers, but at the moment I'm using this moisturizer right here, and it's an aloe vera moisturizer. And you might say, oh wow, I have an oily skin, so what's the point of me using moisturizer if I've got an oily skin? Well, with all the stuff that you're going to be putting on your skin, it's always good to make sure that you just moisturize your face so that your makeup doesn't come out to be so oily and as you go along, because you know the foundations that you put, the concealers, will clog your pores and whatnot, so it will in turn produce more. But it's always good to start off with your moisturizer, a moisturized face, just to ensure that that foundation actually sits in very well, and you're sort of creating like a barrier also. So not only are you just doing that, but you're actually also creating a barrier. So just rub that off, make sure it's nicely rubbed in. I usually like to rub my foundation in circular motion on both sides, like you see the way I'm doing it. Just rub it off, and from your neck upwards, just put it in this motion upwards, then go like that. Then yeah, just to ensure your whole entire face is actually moisturized. Okay, now that is done, I went off ahead and did my eyebrows off camera, and I'm just gonna start with my eyeshadow just because that's my personal preference. If you personally prefer to actually do your foundation first and then do your eyeshadow lastly, girl, you do you, yeah? But if you're like me and want to start off with the eyeshadow first, please, let's do this together. So I'm just gonna prime my eyelids, and I'm going to be using LA Girl concealer in the shade Kutan, and I'm just gonna prime this. And because today I'm just going for a regular eyeshadow, I'm not going for anything fancy. I'm not gonna do too much of the priming. I would say I'll probably just do, you know, like I'll prime it lightly, reason being I don't want it to be so pigmented because I'm just doing a basic one color shadow palette, one or two colors if at all, so I'm not doing anything dramatic. But if you want your eyeshadow to pop up more, you can actually use a very lighter concealer or eyeshadow base, so that this actually helps to make the eyeshadow pop out more. But because I'm actually doing something just basic, I would say I'll just put a bit of primer and something close to my skin tone, not so light but something a bit close to my skin tone, because I don't want it popping. We're not doing anything dramatic. Okay, I'm just warming that up with my fingers. Like, guys, if it's your first time tuning in, I use most of my fingers. Don't be afraid to use your fingers as much as you do with your brushes. So you can just warm that up with your fingers, sorry. And I'm using this index finger and I'm just warming that concealer, which I'm using as the eyeshadow base, and I'm just warming that up. Just gonna pick, I don't know if I'm gonna go with this deep blue or I'm gonna go with this other blue that's here, which is a bit turquoise. So I'm not quite sure, I haven't yet decided, but we'll see. Let me just do a test. So I'm just gonna be using like one or two from this eyeshadow. So let me just do a test run. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's this one right here, and I'm gonna get this and just squash it over there. The turquoise or the blue. Let me see. Let me do the turquoise. No, let me do the deep blue. So I'm just filling that up. So I'm basically just using one or two eyeshadow colors, but basically just using one eyeshadow palette, which is this SFR color, the Sunshine palette, which is very affordable. It's a travel size palette, which you can actually shop on my IG. Just DM me and you can actually shop it. Link to my IG is linked in my bio, guys, so you can actually do that. So if you're a learner, you don't want to really, start off with buying very big palettes. You can start off with small palettes and practice with that and see where it goes. Practice. I cannot emphasize that anymore, but just practice, and eventually you get the grip of it. And makeup is not really all about doing what everybody does, but it's also understanding. You learn from what people actually are doing, but you also understand what works for your skin, and your skin type. You're understanding your skin type, your face shape, and all those things come into detail, and you can only learn about that once you practice, because along the way you make mistakes. Yeah, we all do, we still do, but we learn within the process. So just keep on practicing, and try out new stuff. Don't limit yourself. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Don't limit yourself to always doing stuff like within your comfort zone, but just try out stuff that you probably haven't done. And just to make it a bit smoky, I'm just gonna go in with this darker one right here in the outer corners of my eyelid, because I just want to make it a bit smoky on the outer side. And now I'm gonna go in, I think I'll use 3 colors, yeah. So feel free, like I'm doing, just experiment and feel free to see what works for you. Like, you know, makeup is an art, so don't be afraid to just flow freely and create. I'm going to go in with the turquoise now in my tear duct.
Think about the moments we spent. I just want you to be happy.
I'm going to be blending in with the plain aqueous, the blue, which is here the baby blue, just at the top of my crown, my eye crown here. Because I don't want it to look flat.
Think about the moments we spent. I just want you to be happy.
Okay, so we're basically done with our eyeshadow, and yeah, this is what it looks like. I love it because it's infusions of blue, like different tones of blue, but it looks quite fine. I'm just gonna finish off the bottom part later on, but I just want to put my eyelashes off camera. But before that, I'm just gonna stretch them out with this so they actually blend in with my actual false lashes that I'm going to put. I want the false lashes to actually blend in with my actual lashes. And yeah, and these are the lashes I'm going to use, guys. Like, lashes are so hard to do, like we all get it wrong, but I can say even up to this date I can't really do my lashes on camera. It's a bit of a struggle, but I just want to emphasize that practice, practice, practice. Like I said, makeup is an art, so be free, create your art, and just let it flow. Okay guys, so I've just put my eyelashes, and now I'm just gonna clean the edges, like the outer side of my eye, because you can see the fallout here, but I just want it to be perfect.
Nothing's gonna be any matter. I love you every day. Let's take a walk. Please don't guarantee your joy. Nothing's wrong with crying every day. It just started a thing in the world. I'll say you're the destiny.
And now we go on to our foundation. Now that we're done, like you can see the whole eyeshadow, the eyes are definitely done. We're feeling it, we're loving it, it's popping, we're ready. You know, we're not about to be a clown up in the street. We about to look snatched. Yeah, now we go on to the foundation itself. So I'm just gonna prime this, and when choosing a primer, there are actually different primers out there. There's mattifying, hydrating, and a lot and other primers. So it's up to you to actually get what you want. Do you want something mattifying? Do you want something hydrating? Do you want something illuminating? This will also help you to kind of know what your skin type is and what actually works for you, and also the type of foundation you're actually using. It'll be a guide for you to use what primer you're actually going to use. Today, because of the primer, the foundation that we're going to be using, sorry, I'm going to be using a moisturizing primer, and this is by Kiss Beauty. And you can make a glam face using your store, drugstore products. I got this from my local beauty store. I think I got it for like 45 if I'm not mistaken, and it's lasted me for months. It's almost done, but anyhow, we're gonna use it. We're just using, scratching out the last bit of it. So just prime our face with this you know, hydrating primer, hydrating primer. So that's what we're basically using. And oops, sorry. And this step is very essential, guys. Like, some of you might be thinking, why primers, why all that, but it's very, very, very essential. And now we're going to put on a foundation, and I'm just going to be using a local drugstore foundation, which is a BB foundation. I love this because it sits very well on my skin, and I totally love it, love it, love it.
I'll love you every day. Let's take a walk.
Compared to a brush and a blender, if you're a beginner, I'd say use a blender. A very good blender would do. Just make sure you actually first make it a bit wet, like dampish, not too damp, but dampish, whereby it's kind of easy, you know, when you squash it like that, it's easy to be squashed. Because as a beginner, sometimes using a brush, it's a bit of you know, a struggle for most beginners. So I would recommend actually you use a blender, so that actually your makeup can look seamless. So just blend everything in.
When someone tries to touch your scars, it doesn't seem to cure at all. Oh, nothing's gonna be any better.
When you're blending, you have to make sure you blend everything in, that even your arm hurts. Blend it so it looks seamlessly.
You're the destiny. Please don't guarantee your joy. Nothing's wrong with crying every day.
And now what you want to do from here, you definitely want to conceal. So I'm going to be using my Elegel Pro Concealer in the shade Kutan, and I'm just going to splash this on here so it's easy for me to work with. And you know, when you start off makeup, most people, YouTubers or makeup artists out there, makeup gurus, they tell you to do a triangle under the eye, you know. But I find it fine, like, discover your face, find out what really works for you. I personally have like an oval shape of an eye, so I don't like the triangle kind of arrangement. I love my eye to be lifted a bit, because I've observed that when I do that triangle bits of the um concealing, it actually draws my face down. So I've discovered this new technique whereby if I do it, it actually kind of lift my face up. So this is a technique I'm going to be showing you. So instead of the triangle one, you just want to go like the way we went up in here, go in again, just with a bit more, because that will lift your face up and it will make it seem a bit awake than anything, and just, you know, lift it up so you look more awake than anything. And then just go onto your lower cheekbones like that. And be generous with the concealer. Just put enough. So I kind of come in like that. And then of course I do this part because I want to highlight my cheekbone. And then just above my lips. And also I love to highlight my forehead. I love to just conceal my forehead. And then I also go in right here just to snatch up the nose. And I'm gonna let that dry, and while this is drying I'm going to contour my face, because I let it like sit for a bit and just dry for just a few minutes so that I can actually blend it in well. I find it that it sits very well, especially for us, you know, black women, black women of color, should I say. And I'm going to be contouring with the cream contour, and this is a classic. I got this, it's also a drugstore. I think I got this for like 25 grand in my local beauty store, of course. And I'm gonna use the darkest one, which is this one. And just to give you as a guide when contouring, just make sure you put enough, just as a guide, just kind of like sucking your lips like that, and that should give you a guide on where you should actually draw your line. So today we're using cream contouring. After this, you can also go in with a darker foundation, which is a classic Fit Me foundation. I just poured a little on here, and it's that part, not the concealer, this part here. I'm just gonna go in again. And what you want to do is also just mark up your crown here. Your forehead crown. Just contour that part, contour that part. And before I actually blend it in, I'm gonna mix it up again with another cream concealer, which I'm going to use to contour, of course, which is in the shade Espresso. Yeah, Elegant Pro concealer in the shade Espresso. I'm going to use this for contouring. It's in the shade Espresso. And what you want to do when you're actually contouring, you don't want to press this down, because then it looks, your face will look all dragged down. Yeah, before I used to think, you know, the right way is actually pulling it down, but it actually makes your whole face drop down and it's not lifted. So what I love to do is actually just go in, just blend it upwards like that. You can actually use this blender or a brush. this part, even if you're a beginner, I would say you can use a brush, but I can't quite find my brush, so you just want to go in like that, like so. And now you want to actually blend this concealer in. Start with the part that you actually started with and just blend that in. Can you see how lifted my face actually looks? Like, it actually looks so lifted and well put together, and that's the main objective. Do the same for the other side as well. So for every cream product that you use on your face, I usually recommend that you actually, kind of blend everything together afterwards, because you don't want to, your face to show, to line up and show, oh, this is where the highlighter was, or this is where the contouring cream was. So you just want to blend that in together. So it looks seamlessly. And yeah, like I was saying, for every cream foundation that you use, you go in, you set it with your powder, and I'm using this loose powder by Naked. It's Naked 4. The shade, I'm not quite sure what shade is this. 02, that's shade 02. So lightly just tap that in, remove excess, and just go in. This will actually make your makeup last longer, and give you that studio airbrushed feel, that airbrushed look that we all want. Go in again and just brush off the excess and just go in. especially like where you actually contoured here. You know, you don't want to see to say this is where the foundation is and this is where the contouring starts, or this is where the concealer is and this is where it ends. You just want it to kind of like, you know, just pop out. And for women of color, I would say you could also use, you know, this powder that I'm going to show you just now. This one here, it's beignet, to just, you know, kind of like emphasize more. And this is more yellow toned, and this is actually good for women of color. I'll definitely advise because it works well with our skin tone. And I'm just gonna pour a bit here. That should be about enough. So I'm gonna set this concealer that I had put here with this, the yellow toned powder beignet. I don't remember how much I got it, but I've had it for quite some time now. This is just to signify, like, you know, to if you really want to, you know, make a makeup really pop out, because it really works well with us women of color. And I'm just gonna hold the brush like that and just go also set the conceal that I put on the bridge of my nose. And of course, now we're gonna contour our nose. So for the nose, I'm first of all gonna start with the cream contouring, and I'm going to be using this concealer by LA Girl Pro in the shade Espresso, just to contour my nose and to just make it a little bit smudged. I'm gonna blend that in. And now I'm just gonna actually pass through where I contoured and add a dry powder. Remember, for every cream product that you use, make sure you actually just blend it off with a dry powder. And I'm going to use this just to blend it in with the dry powder. I'm going to be using this right here. And now, just to highlight, I'm going to be using this highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills and Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit, yeah. And I'm going to be using I think 143.
Please don't guarantee future. Nothing's wrong with crying every day. It's just sort of a thing in the world. I say you're the best moment down. 난 내 생각해봐야 내가 힘들 때 내 곁에.
Okay, we're done highlighting, and now I'm just gonna use, I used to hate blush so much, but you know, like for us dark skin people of color, it's really hard to find a blush that actually complements your skin tone. And gladly I found one, and Yeah, I've been using it for the longest time. It's almost done, so I'm just gonna show you guys. Just to warm up my cheeks, I'm just gonna actually put that and just warm up my cheeks with the blush. Okay, so this blush is by Avon. I got it quite some time. It's even out of space, don't mind guys. And I'm using this brush right here, and I'm just gonna tap that in slightly on both sides and just smile. Like, do you see the magic the blush has actually done to my face? Can you see that, guys? And voila, we're almost done. One more step to go, and yeah, I'm just gonna line my lips with an eyebrow pencil. You can actually even use eyeliner, like lip liner, sorry, but I'm using an eyebrow pencil. So and of course, I love this lip gloss. It's FBI lip gloss. It's also from my local drugstore. I think I got this one for like 15 or 20 grand. If I'm not sure, 15 or 20 kwacha. And just to finish it off, I'm just using this mascara just to volumize my lashes even more. The final look. Let me know what you guys think. Will you be trying it out? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has actually helped you. And yeah, let me know what else you'd want to see on this channel. And if this video has been helpful to you, please thumbs it up. And thank you so much. We now at 100 subscribers. I thank you all for actually joining the family and for showing support, for showing love. Please keep on showing love, keep on supporting. Let's grow this family. Until next time, see you. Bye.